However do you do? Not too long ago, I was on Facebook, on one of the Facebook book groups, and somebody put up some pictures of a book that was on my list of books that I really, really want to add to the collection. And this one looked really, really cool, and somewhere on there I commented, I want one. Well, a day or so later, I got a Facebook Messenger post, or Facebook Messenger message saying, it's for sale. I sell books, and I think they're worth about this many dollars. And I strongly agreed and said I'll take it. So I made the purchase, and Viola, here it is. Or as the kids say, voila. Who knows? It showed up in the mail in what I might call the world's largest shipping box. This seller, sure enough, did not scrimp, skimp, or anything in between on the box. Shipped UPS, shipped very fast, and I got it in the mail. I might as well tell you, on my books that I really want to add to the collection list, I've got things like The Exorcist, Lonely Road Numbered Edition. I've got the lettered PC edition, but I want a numbered edition in the slipcase. I've got Robert Bloch's Psycho, the Gauntlet Press signed and limited edition. I want a Suntup Editions numbered Red Dragon. These are just some of the books on my want list. And then there's one by Cemetery Dance. It's got a 2-book combo by William Peter Blatty. Those books are The Exorcist and Legion, and it is signed and numbered. And this seemingly nice lady on the Facebook put pictures up of a PC copy of that, but in there it had a little extra special touch, and it's in, and I'm very excited to see it. Very excited to see if it meets expectations, if I can scratch a line off of my list and put a special book on the shelf and all that kind of stuff. The right price, hopefully it's the right book, and let's stop with all the ado, open it up, and see how she looks. So, needless to say, I'm pretty excited about this. The Exorcist is a strange story for me in many ways. I went many, many years of my life having never seen The Exorcist. It didn't really interest me. When I was growing up and I thought about horror movies, I primarily thought about monsters and killers. And that was it, monsters and killers of all sorts. That's what I was interested in. I wasn't really interested in demon possession or any of that stuff. It's not that it bothered me. It just didn't matter to me. It wasn't scary. To me, it wasn't scary. I mean, I know it scares a lot of people. But it's not good, it's not bad. It's just not something that really mattered to me or really occurred to me. So I went many years without watching it. And I didn't watch it until it came out. They came out with the theaters with the version you've never seen before is what they called it. And a bunch of people went back to the theaters and watched it. And I think it was either DVD or VHS. I don't remember what was out at the time. But whatever was out at the time, probably VHS. I don't know. Can't remember. It came out and I picked one up somewhere, watched it, and I really wasn't much to me. A great movie. A big, important movie to a lot of folks, but it just wasn't much to me. And so I went many years again, maybe 20 years, never watched it. And I don't remember the sequence of events, but at some point I watched The Exorcist again. This is as a over 40 male. And I watched The Exorcist 3 Legion then. And this time I got it in a different way. Still, demon possession I'm not afraid of it. I'm not saying that I'm, whatever. No, it's not something that I am afraid of, demon possession. It's not something that I'm entertained by. But I bought into characters. Father Karras, I was in. I dug that character. And Detective Kinderman, again, I was in. I really liked that character. And so I found something in the movie that I could grab onto. And I loved it. This time, 40 plus, I loved The Exorcist because I found characters that I could buy into, both battling and struggling with things, both inner and outer, dealing with issues and finding a bond in ways, and finding kinship and stuff like that. And in the movie, Exorcist 3 Legion, it was some of that stuff also. But there was George C. Scott. Yeah, I'm a big fan. That Joker takes over everything. Nobody plays George C. Scott better than George C. Scott. And when he plays George C. Scott, I usually love that movie. Anyway, again, there's kinship, there's other stuff, other types of horror elements, other movie devices that I really dug. Anyway, I haven't read that book yet, although I do have some cool copies. It's on the books, what got to be read pile, and it needs to be bumped up very high. But this one, I've opened the box, and look here, our seller, and I'm not going to tell you her name, but if she's watching the video and she wants to, she can say, I'm the one, that was me. That's fine, that's up to her. But anyway, she stuffed this thing full of all kinds of cushions. I got some things in here that my 9-year-old boy is going to love. He's going to pop these things and make a few loud noises. My wife's not home today, so it's not going to tick her off. She gets mad with that stuff, but hey, I like busting stuff too, you know. Now I got all of this, cheese puffs. They don't taste good, don't eat them. And then inside of here is this. And a bunch of more bubble popping things at the bottom. This seller went above and beyond, and then above and beyond again. I wish everybody cared this much about trying to take care of the book. Now this Swiss watch, I gotta try to figure out how to open this box. You gotta be smart. You gotta be smarter than the box. And Cisco, looks like a Cisco box. What came in the Cisco box? Did I buy a computer or did I buy a book? Oh, hey, I bought a book. Awesome. Now we're getting to a box in a box in a box. I need to remember this person and try to buy more books because they don't come packaged any better than this. Holy moly, holy Toledo, holy cow, holy Pazuzu, holy whatever you want to talk about. Unbelievable. And this is what I came to see. This is a book I've been wanting for quite a while. I've missed some opportunities and been spitting, fighting mad because I missed out. Just that much too short, too slow, too late. But I look at this as an opportunity. I look at this as a very exciting opportunity. And now I'm going to get in and show you what I got. That's it. So, if I didn't say it already, William Peter Blatty wrote the book The Exorcist, and it was a hit. And they made it into a movie directed by William Friedkin, and it was a major hit. And by the way, I got the Suntup Editions numbered edition of The Exorcist right here. And this book was published after the death of William Peter Blatty, the author, and it's signed by the director of the movie, William Friedkin, who was also a friend of William Peter Blatty. So it's kind of a neat way that worked out also in their publication. But this one here, Cemetery Dance, published without a slipcase, a very classic style, classic design, and it combines The Exorcist and the sequel, Legion. And they're featuring some of the same characters in the same world, but it's a different type of story. And like I said, I haven't read the book Legion yet, but I will. And a couple of neat things about this one. Our end papers are very red. And then we come in here to our signature page. I think I told you this one was a PC numbered copy signed by William Peter Blatty and marked PC for, I don't know, I like to say publisher's copy, but essentially they have a certain number printed. If it's numbered to 400 or 500, there's a certain number that are printed, and then they print some extras because sure enough, some of them are going to be damaged. Sure enough, they're going to have some people that's in the chain somewhere that are going to want to copy the author, the whoever. People are going to want to copy, and they're not going to want to take out of the limited run of 500. So they make some extra ones, and most publishers will call them PC, and those will be given out, or they'll be sent as replacements for ones that get damaged in the mail, or a variety of things. Sometimes they just sell them off when they're all done. But this is a PC copy, so it's not part of the the original print run. This one was limited to 750 copies. So this is not one of the 750. This was one of the extras that were made. Marked PC. I don't know how it got out into nature, but that is what I wanted. Now this one has something very neat. Illustrator Glenn Chadbourne. Have you ever heard of such a thing? Where the artist takes the book and draws a picture. Now, I heard a commentary on this particular picture on how they censored the artist with a bedpost. But just take a look at that picture, that illustration drawn by artist Glenn Chadbourne. It's called a remark. Can you say remark? And beyond that, I really don't know a whole lot about this particular edition. So we're going to be seeing it, or I'm going to be showing you as I see stuff. This one, Cemetery Dance, Baltimore, 2010. And let me look through here to see what all kind of goods are included in the book. And I've found something, a dark page right here. If you've read or seen any of this story, you'll know why we have a Ouija board as part of the artwork. And I'm afraid that flipping through here, I might miss something. Because of the way the picture, at least that picture is built, it doesn't go all the way out to the edges, which makes it easy to miss when you're flipping through looking for pictures to show. So I'll do my best. I'll do my best to try to show you as many of these illustrations as I can. And I imagine I'll miss some. But I truly apologize. So I stumbled into The Exorcist in the weirdest of ways. I told you how I didn't care for the movie. Later on, I gave it another shot. Suntup Editions published it, and I think that's what got me wanting to read it originally. And when I read it, I just loved the book. I went from not really caring for the movie to loving the movie to reading the book, and now I would probably, on my list of favorite books, and it's really hard for me to do, because I love so many books in so many different ways. Some of them I haven't read in 25 years, and some I've read multiple times. I probably will say it's one of my top 4 favorite books of all time, but that, again, it's so hard, because I'm going to think of books that I read and I loved, and I'm going to say, I don't know if I like The Exorcist better than that or not. It's really tough for me, but I would say that William Peter Blatty's The Exorcist, for me, is one of my all-time favorite books. I can easily, safely say that. I just have a hard time narrowing it down to how many books there are at the very top of that list, and how many books are ahead of it when I go. So, the book Alas Babylon by Pat Frank, I pretty much always say that's my favorite book. It was the first book I read in high school. It was assigned reading. The first book that I read in high school, and these are, now we're getting to Legion illustrations. But that was one of the first books I read in high school that I loved, and that story drew me in. And if the teacher would have said halfway through reading the book, never mind, I changed my mind, we don't want to read this, I'd have finished it. And I read books then because a teacher made me, and that's it. But I love that book. Also, F. Paul Wilson's The Tomb. So this would be a scene from the movie Exorcist 3 Legion and part of the book The Exorcist. So I haven't read the book Legion, and I don't know if the carp in the bathtub is a part of the story in the book Legion, but it was a part of the story in the book Exorcist, and then it was included in the movie Legion. So William Peter Blatty wrote the book The Exorcist, wrote the book Legion. William Friedkin directed Exorcist, and then some other person wrote and directed Exorcist 2 movie. I've never seen it. Everybody says it's bad. But then William Peter Blatty wrote a sequel to the book called Legion, wrote a sequel to The Exorcist, called it Legion, and then somewhere along the way he lobbied and was able to get the movie made, but they didn't want to just call the movie Legion. they wanted to tie it into Exorcist, so they called it Exorcist 3 Legion. And William Peter Blatty, the author, was the director. And there was a lot of chicanery going on. Ultimately, you ended up making a film. The studio had them make some changes to the film, and that's what was released. They added a lot of money to the budget to shoot some particular scenes they wanted shot after the movie was already made. So they actually put an exorcism in the movie, and they released that in the theaters, and that's the version I saw multiple times, and I loved it. And then the Blu-ray edition came out, and one of these movie people, they went back and they got some of the scenes that were cut from the original version of the film. They kind of patched it together to come up with an edition that was as close as they could get to William Peter Blatty's original film that he shot and submitted to the studio. And it's not exact, but it's they say it's about what he had in mind. It was also very good. I liked them both. But I feel like the studio version, when you take out some of the stuff that was added in the studio version, I really miss it. So it's tough. It's kind of like the Army of Darkness. There's multiple versions of that film, and watching any one, I'm going to miss stuff that was in the other one. So no matter what version you're watching, it's missing some awesome stuff that I really wanted in the other one. So it's tough for me to decide which one is better on that movie front. But this one is special to me because it incorporates both of William Peter Blatty's Exorcist books. And a lot of people will say that the Ninth Configuration, I'm flipping slowly here, that Ninth Configuration would be also part of the Exorcist series because it's got a character in it that was a part of Exorcist. And there's some other tie-ins and stuff. I haven't read that book either. I have watched that movie. There you go. And that's from Legion. I have watched that movie and I liked it, although not as much as Legion or Exorcist. I did like the movie Ninth Configuration. One of these days, I want to get, I think it's Centipede Press did a fancy version, signed and limited, of Ninth Configuration. I think they did. Somebody did a very nice one that I want. It's just sellers want more for it than I want to pay for it. So thus far, I haven't bought it, but I got time. And if I don't got time, who cares what books I didn't get? Because I'll be dead. Anyway, I got time. One of these days, maybe I'll end up with one of those to go in my collection. There's not a... While I love William Peter Blatty for The Exorcist and for the movie Exorcist 3 Legion, there's not a whole lot of William Peter Blatty books that I really want or really am that interested in. Exorcist, Legion, and the Ninth Configuration. And beyond that, I really can't think of anything else that I feel like I've got to have. But for a very small bit of his career, his life, his work, he's a precious person to me because he's made some stuff that I really love. And there's my copy of The Exorcist / Legion by William Peter Blatty. I'm excited to add this one to the stacks, and so I figured I might as well just show it off to you. I have to open it anyway. I got to look through it anyway. I might as well put up the video scope and see if anybody else is interested. And if not, sorry. Anyway, I'm sure there's something I should be saying. I should probably show you all of my Exorcist books, my William Peter Blatty stuff, my copies of Legion. I got a signed copy at Second and Charles for $8 one time. First print, first edition of Legion. But I won't. Not this time anyway. At some point I will. Can't think of any more lies that I really want to tell at the moment. So thank you, folks. C'est la vie, baby.